In this video, we will test 3 of the best smartphone gimbal options that you can buy in 2021, and we will find out which one that you should get. Hey, what's up guys, Julian from smartphonefilmmakingpro.com here, the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. And today we will compare the DJI OM4, the Hohem iSteady X, and the Aochuan Smart XR gimbal. I have divided this comparison into 9 different categories, and the winner of each category will get 3 points, the second place will get 2 points, and the third place will get 1 point. So let's jump right into the comparison. First up, we will take a look at the packaging content plus the price. Basically, all 3 gimbals have the exact same packaging content. With all of them, you get the gimbal itself. Well, luckily, you get a mini table tripod, a USB to USB Type-C cable, and a little carrying pouch. The OM4 is the most expensive one, coming in at $150. The Smart XR, on the other hand, currently retails for about $100, and the iSteady X only costs about $69, which is super affordable. So for the first category, the Hohem gets 3 points, the Smart XR gets 2 points, and the OM4 takes the third place. Next up, let's talk about the overall steadiness when doing a straight push-in shot. Getting smooth shots requires you to have a perfectly balanced gimbal, and you need to walk like a ninja, which means you have to bend your knees when you are walking. And when you do this, this will avoid the up and down movement. And you need to practice this. And when you do all those things and you get them right, I could not really see a difference between any of them. All 3 gimbals deliver amazing results, and that's why all of them get a single point. There was no clear winner for me. The third category is the steadiness when doing a parallax shot, which means that you move in one direction and pan into the opposite direction. And that's where I could see some differences. If you watched the full review about the Smart XR gimbal, you already know that I was very surprised and happy with the iSteady X overall, but when doing parallax shots, I couldn't get them as smooth as with the other gimbals, as with any of those. The iSteady X, on the other hand, really surprised me because it is the cheapest of them all, actually by a lot, and it performs nearly as good as the OM4. The OM4 is, in my opinion, the smoothest of them all. So first place takes the OM4, second one the iSteady X, and third place takes the Smart XR. Fourth category is about the balancing of the gimbals. And as always, when I do comparisons like these, there is always a very clear winner. The Smart XR and the iSteady X, these two, they are more kind of like traditional gimbals when it comes to the balancing part. Once you've placed your phone into the phone mount, you can slide them up and down, and also to the left and to the right. And you do this until your phone stays within the gimbal without falling over in any direction. The OM4, on the other hand, has a little clamp, this one, which is magnetic, and you just put your phone into this clamp, align the dots, and you turn it on, and you are basically done. So the clear winner in this category is, in my opinion, the OM4. And since the other gimbals are so similar when it comes to the balancing part, each one of them will get 2 points. So next up is the payload. The higher the payload, the more accessories you can put on your phone, like add-on lenses, for example. And the most expensive of the 3, the OM4, has a payload of 290 grams, which is very awesome. And I've used this gimbal a lot with my iPhone 12 Pro and an anamorphic lens, and it worked a treat. The second highest payload has surprisingly the cheapest gimbal, which is the iSteady X, with a payload of 290 grams, which is very impressive and only 10 grams less than the OM4. And I could also use the iPhone 12 Pro with the anamorphic lens on this gimbal. It was a little more difficult, but it worked, and in the full review I covered this in more detail, so if you want to check this out, click the annotation. And the third place takes the Smart XR. It only has a payload of 250 grams, which is great for normal usage. You can get it balanced with basically every phone, but it didn't work with an add-on lens. So the OM4 takes 3 points, the iSteady X 2 points, and the Smart XR only takes 1. Okay, so before we get to the next category, which will be the overall ease of use, I want to very quickly talk about Smartphone Filmmaking Pro. We are the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. We currently have over 50 tutorials and well over 5 hours of super high valuable content inside our full course that will massively step up your smartphone video quality. We cover all the technical aspects that you need to know, and we also cover the creative techniques to spice up your videos to bring them to the next level. And we also cover the entire editing part on a computer, but also directly on your phone. So if you want to learn more, click the first link below that like button. That will bring you to my free webinar where I share the top 5 secrets to shooting cinematic videos with your smartphone. Okay, so next up, as I've already said, is the overall ease of use. And in my opinion, a big part of this category is the balancing part that we have just talked about. With more traditional gimbals, a lot of people seem to struggle because the balancing is not that easy. And to be honest, it's not difficult, it just takes practice and you need to get used to this. With the OM4 on the other hand, everybody can get it balanced. So I will definitely give the OM4 3 points because also the overall ease of use, there are just a few buttons and it's very intuitive. The other 2 gimbals are in my opinion very comparable. I do prefer the Smart XR a little over the iSteady X because of this little screen that you have on the back of the gimbal. It is extremely helpful for changing modes. So the Smart XR takes the 2nd place and the Hohem iSteady X takes the 3rd one. But with all of those gimbals, you just have to get used to them and then you can get great results with all of them. Next category is low mode. And I will make this one very quickly. All of them offer a super easy transition from normal mode to low mode, and all of them perform pretty much identical. I didn't like any of them way better than the other ones. So I will call this category a draw and everyone will get a point. Alright, so the next category is about the different modes that the gimbals offer. And to be honest, I do not switch a lot between the different modes. For about 90% of all my shots, I am just using the normal follow mode, so that the gimbal just follows my movements. And for the rest of the time, I am in the L mode, which stands for locked, so that the gimbal just stays at the same position no matter how I use the gimbal. I most liked switching modes on the Smart XR because of the little back screen, and it was just super easy and you always knew in which mode you are in at the moment. 2nd place takes the OM4 because for those 2 modes that I like using, it is very simple to change between them. And last place takes the iSteady X. I didn't really like the switching that much. And the last category is value for money. So how much do you get for your money? And in my opinion, by far the best bang for your buck delivers the iSteady X. This thing only costs about 60 euros. And what you get for this is, in my opinion, very impressive. If you want to learn more about this gimbal, as I said before, I do have a separate review about it. 2nd place in my opinion takes the Smart XR. This gimbal is also a lot cheaper than the OM4 and in most aspects is definitely on point with the much more expensive OM4. Last place in my opinion takes the OM4. It is in my opinion the best gimbal of them all, but it is also way more expensive. So as you can see in the final score, the OM4 did take the win, but just by a very slight advantage over the iSteady X. And in conclusion, I wanted to say that you can't go wrong with either of them. I tested them all very intensively and I got pretty much identical results with all of them. So as always, don't just focus too much on the gear and that you have the absolute newest and best one. It's way more important that you know how to use the gear that you have to its highest potential. So if you are on a tighter budget, I think the iSteady X is a superb option for you. And if you have not signed up for the free webinar yet, make sure to do so because it is jam-packed with free value and it will also help to get better results with your gimbals. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some value out of it and it helped you choosing the right gimbal for you. If you want to buy any of these, I have links to all of them in the video description. And yeah, that's it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.